Respected Reverend Dr. George Varghese, our beloved Women Samuel, beloved Jeevan Jonathan, our Trinity Parish Office bearers, Executive Committee members, all the young families who are attending today's meeting, and all the other members, other families who attend today's meetings. Greetings to you all. In the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, this year, by the grace of God, we were able to conduct our family enrichment program. And we are blessed to have Reverend Dr. George Varghese as the main speaker for this year's family enrichment program. This is the third and final session of this series of classes. In the last two classes, Achan mainly focused on middle-aged families, and also Achan spoke to the senior families in our parish. All those who attended the classes, they commented that these classes were very meaningful, these classes were very relevant, and these classes were very helpful in our family lives. Today, Achan mainly focus on the younger families, mainly the English-speaking families in our parish. So as we have a new gathering today, let me take a few minutes to introduce and welcome Reverend Dr. George Varghese. Achan hails from Rani, and he is a member of Padavangadikara Emmanuel Thoma Church. Currently, Achan lives in Maraman. All those who went to Maraman for Maraman Convention. So Achan lives very close to the Maraman Convention Nagar. So Achan is very familiar to most of our families. As we all know, he has an extensive experience and expertise in the field of pastoral counseling and psychology. He is one of the senior Achans in our church. Achan currently retired from the active service. Before retiring from the active service, Achan contributed to various ministries, very significant ministries in our church, which includes professor or faculty member in theological Thoma Theological Seminary and various theological institutions and colleges and institutes in India. And he was the director of Thoma Counseling and Guidance Centers in Ernakulam, in Kottayam, and also in Trivandrum. Achan, for many years, he served as a translator in Maraman Convention, the world famous Maraman Convention. So in various fields, Achan has played significant roles and contributed to the mission and ministry of the church, which also includes, he was the General Secretary, formerly he was the General Secretary of Thoma Yuvadana Sakyam. After retirement also, Achan serves the church and community with his expertise in the field of counseling. He has also authored many counseling books, which is available in various bookshops in India and read by a larger community. So we are glad that Achan spoke to us 2 meetings last week, and also today Achan is speaking to our younger families on the theme Christian families and conflict resolution. One more thing, Achan is the uncle of our parish secretary Thomas Matthew, Jimon Chan's dad's younger brother. Achan is the younger brother of Jimon Chan's dad. So Achan, we are happy that you find your valuable time to be with us in these days. Once again, on behalf of all the Trinity family members, and especially the younger family members and Achans, all the office bearers of the Trinity family, I welcome Achan to this meeting and also invite Achan to speak to us.
Thank you, Acha. for the very nice words of welcome. Good evening to you all. Good to see you all this evening. Well, I'm thankful to Samachan, Jeevanachan, Uman Samuel Achan, all the committee members, and all the participants for inviting me to be with you to lead few sessions on family enrichment program. In the last few sessions, we were able to deal with some of the problems faced by the middle-aged family, especially to deal with the problem of stagnation which they face in the middle age. And another class for the senior family members, dealing with the topic on empty nest feeling. Today, we are going to deal with the young couples of the parish. And we are going to discuss various matters regarding the family life, especially on the topic Christian family and the conflict resolution. I have divided this talk into three parts. That is, initially we will try to understand what Christian family is. Then we will deal with the reason for family conflicts. And finally, on conflict resolution. What is Christian family? Is there any difference between non-Christian family and the Christian family? What is the uniqueness of Christian family? It's our basic understanding that the Christian family is the basic unit of the kingdom of heaven on earth. The basic unit of the kingdom of heaven on earth. What is the need for analyzing the characteristics of Christian family? What is the need for having discussions and classes on Christian family? Because the traditional concept about Christian family is being changed. Not only about the Christian family, but the family is being changed. Those who are from India, they all know that our early family system was based on joint family system. But due to urbanization and various other factors, a cellular family or unicellular family emerged. And then people started asking the question, what is the need for marriage to lead a family life? Why can't we live together without marriage? So people started living together without marriage. Such families are called the living together families. They live together. There is no need for any marriage as such. And then, oh, sorry, another type of family emerged. This is called contract families. They will enter, husband and wife, they will enter into a contract that we will live together for the next 5 years. Once the contract period is over, either they can renew their contracts or they can get separated. They have the freedom to get separated. And it is called contract families. And then people started asking the question, what is the need for seeking a partner from the opposite sex. Why can't a male get married to another male, a female to another female? So they started getting married together, a male to another male and female to another female, and started as the gay families or lesbian families. So our traditional concept about family is being changed. And in this context, it would be worth exploring what the Christian family is. As I have told you just now, the Christian family is the basic unit of the kingdom of heaven on earth. What does it mean? The Christian family should portray the kingdom values always. See, marriage is a sacrament for us. What do you mean by sacrament? In all sacraments, God takes the initiative, whether it's baptism or Holy Communion or marriage. In all sacraments, God is the initiator. God takes the initiative. If marriage is a sacrament, we believe that God has taken the initiative in bringing you two together. If God has taken the initiative in bringing you two together, then what is your responsibility? Say, you must have seen the Christian marriage, especially Thoma marriage. In the Thoma marriage, the first part of the marriage service is service of the engagement. And it's also called the blessing of the rings. So in the first part of the service, the rings blessed by the officiating priest will be put on the fourth finger of your right hand for the bride and the groom. According to the Western customs, the bride and groom, they will exchange rings with each other. But according to the Eastern tradition, the officiating priest will put the rings onto the fourth finger of your right hand. What is the relevance for that? Don't you think that they should be allowed to exchange rings with each other rather than Achan taking the initiative in putting these rings onto the bride's and groom's hand? See, as I have told you just now, marriage is a sacrament where God takes the initiative. If God takes the initiative in bringing you two together, what is your responsibility? Your responsibility begins by accepting what God has decided for you. As a sign of accepting God's decision in your life, Achan being the mediator between God and you, he blessed the ring and put it on your fourth finger of your right hand. It's a symbolic thing. When you receive this ring from Achan, it means that you accept what God has decided for you. It's a sign of accepting God's decision in your life. If you allow the husband and wife to exchange rings with each other, it's a sign of their contract between them. But for us, marriage is more than a contract. It's a sacrament where God takes the initiative and you simply accept what God has decided for you. By accepting God's decision, You will be entering into a relationship which has already been made by God. You are not supposed to create a new relationship because the relationship has already been made by God. And you are allowed to enter into that relationship through holy matrimony. And you are entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining that relationship and also to grow in that relationship. So it's a unique type of relationship. Nowhere else in the world you can see such type of relationship, only in the family. So this relationship has already been made by God, and you are allowed to enter into that relationship through holy matrimony. So that in this relationship, the kingdom values are being experienced. So Christian family is very unique. It is the basic unit of the kingdom of heaven on earth, where the kingdom values are being portrayed. And we have to believe that God has designed your family. And you simply accept God's decision and design in your family. In the Old Testament, you read something about the family of Abraham. God has designed Abraham's family with a plan and purpose for his family life. They were supposed to follow the design of God's plan. But you know that Abraham's wife, Sarah, she made her own designs and started implementing Sarah's design into the family. And we know the result. The family has been disintegrated and destroyed to an extent. So Christian family has it has God's plan. It is formed based on the plan of God, based on the agenda of God. It's a unique relationship. You are united through a holy sacrament, and your family is supposed to portray the kingdom values. That's why it is said that the Christian family is the basic unit of the kingdom of heaven on earth. Now let's move on to the conflict part. What do you mean by conflict, family conflict? Some of you may be having some problems in the family, but I believe that all of you will have some kind of problems in the family. There is no family without a problem because it's very much part of our personality. We are all imperfect human beings. And every possibility that there will be conflicts in the family. Nothing to hide about it. See, what do you mean by conflict? We all have certain basic needs to be met in the family. Family is a need-meeting place. If those needs are met, then relationship will be strong. If the needs are not met, it is called a family conflict. Family conflict is the failure to meet the needs. What are the needs? We all have biological needs, emotional or psychological needs, sociological needs, sexual needs, communication needs, spiritual needs. All these needs can be summed up into a few words like this. The need for love, the need for security, the need for sex, the need for communication, and the need for spiritual nourishment. I don't have enough time to explain all these things in a detailed way. I will just mention in one or two sentences all these needs. Need for love. What do you mean by love? Love is the basic need to be met in the family circle. To love and to be loved. What do you mean by love? Love is not a feeling. Many of us try to misinterpret love as feelings. Love is not a feeling. Love is a word or action. What do you mean by that? You can have the feeling of love, but love is not a feeling. It's a word or an action. What does it mean? Say, just imagine a child falls ill. And this sick child finds it difficult to sleep during night time. If the child is not sleeping, do you think that mother can sleep? No, no mother will sleep when the child cannot sleep. If the child is not able to take food, the mother will not feel like having food. If a child is not taking water, the mother will not feel like taking water. And throughout night, the mother will carry this child and nurture the child or just console the child, support the child, care the child. What is this mother doing for the child? See, she is sacrificing her comforts for the betterment of the child. When the child is not sleeping, the mother is not sleeping. The child is not having food or water, the mother also is not having food or water. She is sacrificing all her comforts for the betterment of the child. That is love. Love is not a feeling. It is your willingness to sacrifice your comforts for the betterment of your partner. That is love. So it is a basic need of the family. Husband and wife should be able to sacrifice their personal comforts for the betterment of your partner. Then the need will be met. This love has got an emotional side also. That's why we say that love is something to be expressed, to be communicated, to be responded. Yes, it has got an emotional side too. Love is something which is to be expressed. Unfortunately, most of our men, they are more suppressive than expressive. Whatever may be the feelings, you have to freely express it. Whether it's love or anger or sadness or a scared feeling, fear, whatever it may be, you have to express it. Express it not the way you want, but express it appropriately without hurting the other person. The more expressive you become, the more healthy you are. So feelings are to be expressed appropriately. So from the emotional side, love is something which is to be expressed, to be communicated, to be responded. You must have seen the poster. If you love someone, let them. Can you feel it? If you love someone, let them know it. How will the other person come to know that you have love towards that person unless you express your love? So you have to express your love through words, through deeds, through your action, through your response. When the basic need for love is met, the relationship becomes strong. The failure to meet the need for love creates conflict or problems in the family. The second basic need is the need for security. Compared to men, women are more insecure. The very purpose of marriage for them is to feel secure in presence of their husbands. So it's the responsibility of the husband that the security should be imparted to his partner. If the security is not imparted, partner gets disturbed and family conflict begins there. Feeling of security, especially in the initial days of married life. That is the first day, the first week, the first month, the first year. There should not be any kind of security problem in the family. Women should feel secure in presence of their husband. In the initial days of married life, if you feel insecure, throughout your life, you will continue feeling insecure. That's why God has given a special command that you have to leave your parents, cleave to a partner, and thereby two becomes one. Leaving, cleaving, and becoming one. The leaving should be completed. For what? To impart a security feeling to your partner. So it's a very important command given by God. You leave your parents. Leaving doesn't mean that abandoning them. Leaving means changing the priority. Till your marriage, your parents are your priority, but after the marriage, your partner is your priority. That is what is meant by leaving. And cleaving means unconditional acceptance. Before marriage, you have your own expectations about your partner. But after the marriage, you will come to know that most of your expectations are not met. And naturally, you will feel disappointed and dissatisfied, and distancing begins. That's why God said, you may not be able to get what all things you expect from your partner. So you have to accept her unconditionally. In whatever condition she is or he is, you have to accept each other unconditionally. Then start exploring each other so that you will be able to identify more and more strength of your partner. And you will be satisfied. Till your death, you continue exploring each other rather than complaining, getting disappointed or frustrated. Continue exploring each other. The things you expected may not be present in your partner, but there are so many other good strengths which you have to explore and identify and start feeling good. The basic word for security is trust. Trust each other. Thereby you feel secure. There are many factors affecting your trust. Your infidelity, your accusation, hiding certain things from your partner. All these things can affect the trust. Be transparent, be open. Trust each other, thereby impart security feeling to each other. Another important basic need is need for sex. See, sex is a divine gift from God, and the divinity of sex should be maintained. How to maintain the divinity of sex? Sex should never become a ritual. It should be the culmination of your love. There is a difference between man and woman as far as the sexual life is concerned. For man, sex is more of a physical act. For women, it is of the mind. Since it is a physical act for man, he doesn't need much preparation as such before sex. But women, they need ample preparation before sex. If she is not prepared, well, she will not cooperate. And don't misinterpret that her love towards me is going down. No, it's not like that. She's not prepared. That's all. Or rather, you have to tell yourself that I failed in preparing. So, for women, sex is her mind. For men, their physique is more important for sex. Both of you should understand each other this difference. The sexual needs can be met. It should never become a ritual. It should be the culmination of your love. If sexual relationship is strong, then the family relationship will also be strong. This is one of the variables. If there is any dysfunction in the sexual relationship, naturally, automatically it affects the family relationship too. Another need is the need for communication. One-to-one communication is more important rather than communicating through the modern gadgets. Sit together, openly communicate with each other. As far as don't follow any kind of ulterior communication. Also, the Malayalis are experts in ulterior communication. But the communication should be plain, open, transparent. As I have told in the middle-aged group, that the need for gut-level communication is very important. That is the feeling-level communication or the chit-chat session. Sit together for chit-chat session, minimum half an hour every day, so that the communication will be improved and the relationship through communication will also be strengthened. So communication, the need for communication is very important. And then the need for spiritual nourishment. And the spiritual nourishment, of course, I will explain it towards the end. Spiritual means your personal relationship with God. By maintaining a personal relationship with God, the rest of the things can be made spiritual. But without this relationship, all religious activities will become a ritual. So the need for spiritual nourishment is a basic need in the Christian family. If these needs, those needs means the need for love, the need for security, the need for sex, the need for communication, the need for spiritual nourishment. If those needs are met, normally the relationship will be very strong. If the needs are not met, there erupts conflict. So, what is family conflict? It is a failure to meet the needs. So, we should be able to understand the needs of your partner. Many times we are very selfish. We all want our needs to be met. We are not much concerned about your partner's needs. If you help your partner to meet her needs, then the relationship will be very strong. Another factor which affects the family life and creates family conflict is the legacy of the past. What do you mean by legacy of the past? See, no family problem begins after marriage alone. In fact, there is no problem after marriage. What does it mean? While you were growing as a child, your childhood experience leaves a scar in your personality, especially the negative experiences, like rejection. If you have experienced rejection in your early childhood, throughout your life, you will continue to feel that you are a rejected person. If you experience rejection in your life, your relationship with your husband or wife cannot be strong because it is based on the rejection you have experienced in your early childhood, and the intimate relationship is rather difficult for you. You will never experience intimacy. A peripheral relationship you may be able to maintain, but intimate relationship you will never be able to experience. Why? Because in your early childhood, you must have experienced some kind of rejection, either from your parents or from the elders. Why you can't love your husband now or your wife now? Because a scar of the rejection still remains in your personality. And sometimes in your early childhood, some kind of abuse you must have experienced. It can be sexual abuse or physical abuse or emotional abuse. If you have experienced any kind of abuses in your early childhood and it has not been resolved appropriately, then it will definitely create problems in your family life. If you have experienced sexual abuse in your early childhood, in your family life, you will not be able to enjoy your sexual life. Some of you may experience sexual frigidity or other sexual problems, mainly because of the childhood abuse you have experienced. So all other abuses, physical or emotional, all other abuses, if it is not resolved appropriately, then it will leave a scar on your personality. And after the marriage, it's a kind of replaying of your childhood. You carry the legacy of the past. If you have experienced any kind of trauma in your early childhood and it has not been resolved properly, the trauma has started affecting your personality. And you will continue creating trauma in the family life. If you have experienced any kind of PTSD, that is post-traumatic stress disorder, and it has not been resolved, you will continue to experience this disorder in your personality. So your childhood experience is very, very important as far as your family life is concerned. If the childhood negative experiences are not resolved properly, you will replay all those negative things in your family life. It's a kind of replaying of your early childhood experience. And you may not be aware of your present behavior now. Hey, why I feel sad now? Why did I react like this now? You may not be aware of those things now. Why? Because it is in the subconscious mind. on and off, it will come up and it creates problems. So the second reason for family conflict is legacy of the past. And the third reason for family conflict is a kind of personality disorder. People with any kind of personality or disorder, they will never be able to enjoy their family life. So, for example, if a person have borderline personality disorder, it's rather very difficult for us to identify the borderline personality disorder. Externally, they appear to be very smart, very efficient. They are very good in office work. They are an expert and efficient person. But they cannot maintain a relationship. People with the borderline personality disorder, they will always have relationship problems. They will never be able to maintain a good relationship with a partner. Why? Because they are carrying a borderline personality disorder in their personality. Simple advice or punishment or corrective methods will not work out on such people. Okay. Another type of disorder is narcissism. You all know the meaning of narcissism, I believe. I don't have to explain in a detailed way. You love yourself too much. You give importance for you. You feel that you are the most important person in this world. You feel that you are the only important person in this world, and your performance is extremely well. And you will start underestimating other people. Their performance will not be appreciated. Narcissist people will never be able to appreciate another person. They will always appreciate themselves, and they will seek appreciation for themselves. They love them too much. Narcissist people also finds it very difficult to maintain a good relationship with his or her partner. Another disorder is paranoid disorder. Paranoia or paranoid. Paranoid means suspicion, suspecting your partner. You may think that you have enough reason to suspect your partner, but actually, you may be a person with a paranoid disorder. In the initial days, it is only a suspicion. But after some time, it's no more a suspicion, it's a reality for you. So paranoid people will start with a suspicious nature, suspicious thoughts, but later it becomes a reality for them. They will believe the unreal things as real. They will go on suspecting. Once you start suspecting your partner, that will be the end of your family life. Suspicion is like a cancerous growth. Once it starts, it will never stop. That will be the end of your family life. If you find any person suspecting their partner, immediately you have to seek medical help, pharmacological intervention. Otherwise, it's very difficult to correct them and to save them. Another type of personality disorder is antisocial personality disorder. Some people find enjoyment in giving pain to his or her partner. Sometimes they beat them or through some other methods inflict pain. When you see that your partner is having pain, it gives a kind of satisfaction to you. So antisocial personality disorder people, they will always abuse, punish, scold, give pain to his or her partner. And it cannot be corrected through the normal way. Another disorder is OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm sure that you all know that, so I don't have to explain. Repeating things again and again. The same things will be repeated again and again. It's an obsession. Your thoughts also can be an obsessive thought. If you feel that I should not think like this, but still you continue to think like that, on and off, it comes to your mind. The more you try to stop those thoughts, the more strongly it comes back to your mind. It is called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. A partner with OCD will find it difficult to lead a normal family life. One more disorder is sexual perversions. Many type of sexual perversions are there. If you find any kind of perversion, sexual perversion in your partner, immediately you have to seek help from the competent people. Person with a sexual perversion also cannot lead a normal family life. So, what all things create family conflicts? Initially, I have told you that the failure to meet the needs creates family conflict. And then I have told you that the legacy of the past, what all things you carry from your early childhood, which has not been resolved yet, will create family problems. And the third thing is personality disorder. So all these can create family problems. Along with that, one more thing, infidelity. What do you mean by infidelity? See, partners should be able to trust each other. There is nothing to hide from each other. Be sincere to each other. When you tell lies, when you hide something from your partner, mistrust begins. And if you maintain an extramarital relationship outside the family, you are not sincere to your partner. That is infidelity. It can also create conflicts in the family. So there are many factors contributing to the conflicts in the family. It can either be psychological factor or a physical factor, biological factors. It can be spiritual factors or social factors. Some of the important factors I tried to explain to you. Now we move on to the final section. That is conflict resolution. See, we started this session by explaining what is Christian family and what are the general characteristics of a Christian family. And then what are the factors creating conflicts in family? Now we move on to the conflict resolution. How to resolve our family conflict is a very, very important area. Generally speaking, some of the conflict can be resolved by yourself. When you become aware of certain things, hey, this is caused by my personality disorder, or this is caused by my reaction or response. When you become aware of those things, you will be able to resolve it by yourself. Certain, not all. When someone comes for family counseling, I will ask them, hey, what has made you to come for counseling? Tell me. Then the wife will start saying that, my God, This man is beyond correction and nobody can correct him. Even our parish priest tried to correct him, but he will never cooperate. And I am fed up with my husband, and he's not willing to change himself. After that, the husband will start saying that, my God, after marrying her, I could never experience peace in my mind. She is beyond any type of correction. And he will start narrating all the negative things about his wife. Then I will ask them, what is the purpose for you to come for counseling? Husband is blaming wife, and wife is blaming husband. If you continue blaming each other, throughout your life, you will continue blaming each other. No problem can be solved through blaming each other. Then I will tell them that rather than trying to correct the other person, I will help you to correct yourself. In what way? I will make you to be aware of your contribution to the problem. How far you are responsible for the problem. So owning up the responsibility, that's the most important step to be taken for conflict resolution. Owning up the responsibility. Whatever may be the problem in your family life, you have a responsibility, you have a part, you have a contribution to the problem. Yes, directly or indirectly, I played a role. I have contributed for the problem. When you become aware of your contribution, when you become aware of your own part in creating this problem, to an extent, you will start correcting yourself. A counselor can, of course, help that person to make him aware of his own problems and to take initiative in correcting himself. That's one way of dealing with a family conflict, owning up the responsibility of the problem, rather than continue blaming each other, rather than passing the buck on to someone else. Own up the responsibility. I am responsible for this problem. And the problem can be solved to an extent. And the second important factor is need for stroking. I have explained to the middle-aged group the meaning of the word stroke. Stroke is not a physical sickness. Stroke is an act of recognition. There is a basic need in all of us to be recognized. Our very existence is based on the act of recognition. When we recognize each other, we feel good about ourselves. The relationship becomes strong. So stroking means acknowledging, accepting, appreciating, encouraging your partner. Minimum one good thing about your partner should be shared with when you sit together for chit-chat session. At least one thing, every day, at least one thing, one good thing about your partner is to be shared with each other. Whenever it is possible, start appreciating, encouraging, and supporting your partner. Hey, the food you made this evening, it tastes so good. It's a stroke. The shirt which you are wearing this morning, it suits you very well. It's a stroke. Something like that. If you maintain this stroke pattern, maintain this stroke habits in the family, automatically the relationship becomes more and more strong. After the creation, God said to all the creatures, all the creation, God said, hey, it's good. What is the need for God to appreciate his own creation? After creating the animals, the birds, the trees, God said, it is good. He is appreciating his own creation. This appreciation is called stroking. God showed the way to appreciate each other. You are good. And this stroking, which we copied from our God's plan, and this stroking is something which will help us to strengthen our relationship with each other. That is one method. Another method is, as I have told you, the communication part. If you have normal communication in the family, the less family conflicts present in that family. If the communication is normal, transparent, straight, then the problem will be less. Moreover, as I have told you just before the above points, that is, if you are able to maintain a sort of gut level communication in the family, minimum half an hour, all your family problems can be resolved during this gut level communication. Be open to each other. Chit chat session. Minimum half an hour you have to maintain. Through this type of communication, your problems can be resolved. As our time is almost over, one more thing I will just say as the final point. That is the family altar. What do you mean by family altar? Wherever Abraham went, he built altar for God. Altar is a worshiping center. Building altar is to worship. If you build an altar in the family, that is a worshiping pattern in the family. If all the family members come together for family prayer, that itself is the best solution to resolve your problems. You need a counselor many times to deal with, to help you to resolve your problems. The best counselor is Jesus Christ. Christ, the best counselor. All the counseling techniques we derive from Jesus Christ's approach. So he is called the wonderful counselor. So before the wonderful counselor every day, seek his help. Problem can be resolved. When you sit together for family prayer, many times it becomes a ritual and it loses its meaning. The divinity is being lost. Family prayer should never become a ritual. Your active involvement in the family prayer is to be maintained. You have to discuss with each other before family prayer what all things we have to pray for today. Discuss the topics which you have to bring into through your prayer before Lord, and be actively involved in the family altar worship. And that is the basis for a blessed family life. And most of the problems can be resolved in the family altar. If the altar is not maintained properly, you will experience more and more problems. So, how to resolve the family conflicts? Your ability to own up the responsibility of the problem. Be aware of yourself. Own up your part, your contribution to the problem. Start practicing stroking. Improve your communication. And strengthen your family altar. But in the case of the personality problems, don't try to resolve it by yourself. It's not possible. If you find any type of personality problem in any of your member of the family, especially in your partner, Don't hesitate for pharmacological intervention. Competent help is required. Sometimes medicine, sometimes psychotherapy, sometimes counseling alone would help them. So if the problem is caused by the personality problems, then you have to seek competent help. If the problem is caused by the legacy of the past, counseling help would be more helpful. Or make yourself aware of what all things you carry from the family of origin and deal with it. So these are some of the things which you have to keep in your mind. I try to define what family is, especially in the context where the family concept is being changed. So the need for thinking about the Christian values to be maintained in the Christian family. And you have to be very much aware of those things. Family where the Christian values are being portrayed, being experienced. And then we moved on to the conflict situations in the family. What are the things which creates conflicts? The failure to meet the needs, and then personality disorder, and then legacy of the past, and then infidelity, lack of communication, sexual dysfunction. All these things we have tried to explain to an extent. And then finally, conflict resolution through owning up, becoming aware, through talking, through communication, and building family altar. I'm going to stop here for the time being, and it is time for you to ask questions. If you have any doubt or anything you feel like getting more clarification, anything which you feel like asking me, you have the freedom to do so. It doesn't mean that I'm going to answer all your questions because I'm imperfect and ignorant. But as far as possible, I'll try to help you. That's all. Okay. Gender roles, of course. In early days, we can see that there were fixed gender roles. But nowadays, the roles cannot be fixed as such. Roles can be changed according to the need of the hour. Roles can be changed. So certain roles only women can perform. No, man can also take those roles according to the need of the family. So our early concept about the roles has been changed due to the transition. Now, the roles can be changed, and most of the roles, say for example, parenting. Mainly, it was the role of the mother how to parent the child. Mother has to take all control of parenting. It's not like that. Father can also take the role of parenting. In parenting, of course, what you have to keep in your mind is, well, there are two aspects for parenting. Children have two needs. One is their wants, the other one is their needs. Wants and needs. The wants, of course, most of the fathers, they try to meet the wants of the child. But the needs of the child is mostly met by mother. What are the needs? need for love, need for care, need for support, need for a hug, need for expressing love. All these things are basic needs. If the needs are properly met, the child will have a strong personality, a healthy personality. But it is not only the duty of the mother to communicate or to give the need to meet the needs of the child. Father will also take the role to meet the needs by hugging the child, expressing his love, taking care of the child. So the role cannot, we cannot specify certain particular roles to particular gender. These days, the roles can be exchanged. All roles can be taken by all the members of the family. Okay, becomes the leader of the house. According to Paul, husband is the head of the family. Good. I'm the head. I'm to lead the house. But the leadership cannot be entrusted onto a particular person. Who is the leader in the kitchen? In some families, husbands are the leaders in the kitchen too. But the leadership cannot be entrusted with a particular person as such. Then who will take the decision? Of course, all family members should sit together, discuss the matter, and take the decision for which the husband can lead. Husband can be a leader. But head of the family means, according to the situation, according to the function, it can be changed. But of course, certain things have to be implemented by the husband. And he's leading it. He's a leader. There is no question about it, no problem about it. But the role, of course, since it's being exchanged to each other, the leadership, it also can be passed on to the other person according to the situation, according to the occasion. And what Paul says is that, see, love your wife. You are the head of the family. You love your wife because you love your son. Wholeheartedly love. What does it mean? When you start loving, you are passing the responsibility to each other. In loving situations, no one will claim that I'm the head of the family and I will decide what all things to be done in this family. No. In a loving situations, all will sit together, discuss, and commonly take the decision. That is one of the characteristics of the Christian family. Before we propose the vote of thanks, let me convey my thanks to you. Thank you very much for organizing these meetings as 3 sessions and the initiative taken by Samachan and Jivanachan and also by Jimon and the participation of Oman Samuelachan and all the participants. I extend my sincere thanks to you all. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity like this. In future, if any one of you need any further help, you have the freedom to contact me. You will get the number from Samachan. You can contact me over the phone. Any kind of help, I mean, the counseling help is required. We can have it online, video calling, and any kind of help if you require. You have the freedom to contact me, and the number you can call from Samachan. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.